Now, in this exercise, I am going to give you an incomplete sentence. One part of the sentence is given to you, and you put in whatever you want and complete the sentence. Okay? Add your own endings for these sentences. Add. Add your own endings. Add your own endings for these incomplete sentences. For these incomplete sentences. So the sentence is incomplete. You're going to add something to make sense. Okay? Look at this carefully. First one. Mala burst into tears. Okay? Next you have just as I left the house. Just as I left the house. Next you have every Christmas Eve. Every Christmas Eve. Then you have while the cook was baking. While the cook was baking cakes. Now, you can complete it anyhow. You can add words in the beginning or in the end. All I'm asking you, complete the sentence. You add anything, beginning or the end, and make a complete sentence. Now, let's look at the word Mala burst into tears. Okay, what would you do? Mala is crying now. Mala burst into tears when she saw her mother. So, what will you write? Mala burst into tears when she saw her mother. When she saw her mother. Mala burst into tears, or you can say when she saw her mother, Mala burst into tears, whatever. I will write it here. Okay, answer. Mala burst into tears when she saw her mother. We completed the sentence, full stop, capital letter. So you are given Mala burst. You can say Mala burst into tears. You can say when she found the way, Mala burst into tears, or when she found a bag, her school bag is lost. So you can say Mala burst into tears when she found a bag. Mala burst into tears when she saw her mother. Or you can say Mala burst into tears when she got the answer papers. She got the full mark. When she got the answer paper and she gets 100 marks, out of joy, she burst. You can write whatever you want. Next, just as I left the house. Just as I left the house. Now, the second one, the postman postman arrived, the postman arrived just as I left the house. I left the house. Okay? So, just as I left the house. Just as I left the house, my uncle arrived. Just as I left the house, the maid arrived. You can say whatever. Just as I left the house, my friend joined me, or my friend arrived. Okay, whatever you want, you can write. Every Christmas Eve. What will you write? Every Christmas Eve. We go out, or my mother takes me out on every Christmas Eve. You can say my uncle also, or my aunt. My uncle takes. My uncle takes me out on every Christmas Eve. On every Christmas Eve, my uncle takes me out. Every Christmas Eve. On every Christmas Eve, we think about the lovely time we had as children. On every Christmas Eve, I remember the decorations we put up as children. On every Christmas Eve, my neighbor came to spend time with. You can write whatever you want. Only thing, begin with the capital letter, end with the full stop. It should make sense. That's all. While the cook was baking the cakes, while the cook was baking the cakes, you can say, I helped. I helped to mix the batter. I helped to mix the batter while the cook was baking the cake, was baking cakes. Somebody is baking the cakes. What did you do? You helped to mix the batter. Now, what have we learned in this exercise? You are given some group of words, either in the beginning or in the end. You are putting in word to make a complete sense. Now, add your own ending. It can be ending or beginning. Okay, Mala burst into tears. End it. Mala burst into tears when she saw her mother. Now, just as I was leaving home. You can say, just as I was leaving home, postman arrived. Either way you can write. Postman arrived, just as I was leaving home. You can also write, just as I was leaving home, the postman arrived, or uncle arrived, or daddy arrived, whatever. Every Christmas Eve, we had dinner party at some hotel. Every day, Christmas Eve, we went out for a dinner. Every Christmas Eve, my mom took us to a mall, whatever. We can write change of it. My uncle takes me out on every Christmas. You can end it, begin it, either way, make a complete sense. While the cook was baking cakes, I helped to mix the batter while the cook was baking the cake. Whatever it is, beginning the sentence with a capital letter, ending with the full stop. Now you know how to make a sentence, how to complete a sentence, how to feed in words in the beginning or the end, making a complete sense for a nice sentence.